Hello math students, the goal of this video is for you by the end of it to be able to say I can evaluate expressions involving absolute value. So before we get too far in it, let's just do a quick little review on exactly what absolute value is. So let's look at a number line here. So we've got this number line here, and let's say we're given the absolute value of -4. So let's just plot -4 on this number line. So we're going to go 4 to the left. Remember, negative to the left, positive is to the right. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we've got -4 right here on the number line. Well, the absolute value is a number's distance from 0. So let's just draw an arrow from 0 to 4. So the distance from -4 to 0 is just 4. Similarly, the absolute value of, let's talk about the absolute value. So the absolute value of -4 is 4. So its distance from 0 is 4. The absolute value of, let's say, +4 is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're at 4 right here. Well, how far is this from 0 on the number line? Well, that's still 4. So do not confuse absolute value with opposite. Absolute value is always going to be positive. Okay, so now let's get into evaluating some expressions involving absolute value here. So let's look at this expression right here. So we're given 3 plus the absolute value of -4 minus 5. So the first thing we need to do, according to our order of operations, is do our stuff inside of the absolute value right here. So we are going to just bring this first part down. We're not going to do anything with that. And now we're going to ask ourselves, what's -4 minus 5? Well, we know -4 minus 5 is -9. And what's the absolute value of -9? It's just +9. So this equals 3 plus 9. And we know 3 plus 9 equals 12. So 12 is our final answer. Let's look at one more example here. All right, so we're looking at -1 minus, this is the absolute value, just so we know this, minus the absolute value of 9 minus 15. So again, we're going to do what's inside of the absolute value signs first. So we got -1 minus the absolute value of 9 minus 15. So 9 minus 15 is going to be -6. All right, so now we're given -1 minus the absolute value of -6. Well, what's the absolute value of -6? It's just going to be +6. So we got -1 minus 6. -1 minus 6 equals -7, and that is going to be our final answer. So we've got a few different examples of evaluating expressions involving absolute value. So I hope by now you can say I can evaluate expressions involving absolute value.